Good idea. All right, that's most of the way in. Okay, we can close it.
Closing the box. Nice. Okay. Okay, Zeus rotator back to you. Lining up Mini Zeus. That should be good.
All right. Okay, watch lead. Anything else here?
No. That's good. Thank you.
Thanks for the tip, co-pilot.
Nice job with the sample.
Still tricky. I think if that were one that floated,
Could have gotten away.
yeah, then you would really have to have,
Yeah, gotten it at the right angle.
yeah.
You could have, since it was a little bit longer, you could have also tried the outer box since it's a little wider at the back end, and it
Oh, yeah.
might have worked even with the horizontal cut. That's still tricky. Okay, so we're 20 meters west of the cable. I'm looking at 335. I'll come over to 310.
Sounds good.
Unless, yeah, 320 looks pretty good on your sonar. How does that line up?
My sonar's blank.
I can change that, hold on. Alright, so from Sirius to the final waypoint, I got 311.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys want to move?
Yeah. Carl's ready.
You want 50?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
And then I'll stop it if we need to. And I'll do a 310 again, if that's alright.
Sounds good. We're at 310.
Bridge, this is RV nav. Yeah, I would like a move range 50 meters, bearing 310 degrees, speed decimal 2. It's a good copy.
Pilot, this is watch lead. Could you zoom on the black feathery?
Right ahead.
Yes, right ahead.
All right.
That might be a crinoid, but
Video, let's do a quick zoom.
Okay,
If it's
zooming on black feathery.
If it's interesting, I can set down.
There we go.
Anemone.
looks like a Cnidarian of some sort
Is there interest in getting a better view?
that's on a stalked.
I think that might be a
cup coral, but it's really fouled. There's also to the left a white branch.
Oh yeah, I see that. Alright, I'm pretty much set down now. You can go in video.
Okay. That's max zoom.
Okay. Just keep the scene, see what they think.
Alright, new estimated speed over ground we need to do is 0.09.
Good copy.
So if we go 0.2 half the time.
Okay, video, let's focus on the stalked branch now.
Okay.
That looks very similar to a larger
And pretty far
branching
away.
octocoral we saw
It's very
earlier in
small.
the dive, but very small. White with a slight yellowish color to the polyps. Okay, satisfied there. We can
Alright.
move on.
Okay, coming out.
Looks like you're moving,
Explore.
co-pilot.
Yep.
Thank you, video.
Tilting my camera down to 45.
So how many minutes are left in bottom time?
119.
So we've got 2 hours. Yeah. Well, that's if we leave bottom right at 4:15, right? We need to add a few minutes for the ship. So.
Copy that. How many minutes? 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Alright, now you're down to 1 hour, 48 minutes.
You could see some of the tracks of those irregular sea urchins, as described by Chris.
So who replaces you, co-pilot?
Sean.
Oh, I see.
I think I'm on deck.
You are?
Yeah.
Who replaces you?
I took Sean and I took Fernando's watch.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
I see.
So yeah, I don't know. I could check.
It's okay. It's just... That was
Something in that hole, pilot. Like
just below the lasers.
Yes.
I can set down real quick just to...
Okay. I'm going to turn my head 20
Okay.
degrees to keep you in view.
Alright, I'll just get the zoom down the hole and then I'll take off again,
Cool.
co-pilot.
Okay.
Alright, video, you're free to zoom.
Okay, it just moved again. It might have moved farther in.
Looks like a home of
Unfortunately.
some animal.
I think it went inside.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on.
Okay, coming out.
For those who are joining us, you are watching or listening to the Okeanos Explorer.
So it came over 20?
We're on our
Yeah.
last leg of the dive. We're trying to reach this top of this mound.
Back
Right
to
now we're at a depth
310.
of 551 meters.
So we're almost to the part where it gets a little bit steeper.
We have about a little bit under 100 meters of vertical left to traverse,
Okay,
but we're
back
starting our
to
climb up of
310.
a more intensely sloped
Camera's at
area
50 degrees.
towards a large local topographic high that is suspected to be an aggregation point for deep sea fishes, especially snappers like queen snapper, which were reported from this area and from that depth range.
So a lot of these sites that we are exploring during this mission would not be possible without the help and collaboration of the local fishermen. They've guided us in many ways to these different sites. Looks like another soft coral ahead of.
You wouldn't necessarily expect it with this much soft bottom, but these
Tilting up.
primnoid
40
fans
degrees.
appear to be
Figured it
the
wouldn't hurt to
dominant
get out
coral
ahead
in
here
this
and see
area.
this.
This one's even
How
bigger
much is
than the
left in
last
ship
two.
move?
About 10 meters.
Okay.
Let me double check. Yeah, about 9 meters.
Can we get a zoom on the part of the polyps and also one of the brittle stars?
Sure.
The
I'll
center
set
disc.
down to face it.
Yep.
Should have a nice dark background. So you said the base?
Yeah, we can start at the base,
Okay.
and we're looking at close-ups of one of the brittle stars, preferably part of the oral disc, and
Video you can go in.
Okay, very good.
a close-up of some polyps that are easy to
Co-pilot, will you
focus
take
on.
the tilt?
Sure. So we'll look at the base first.
Yeah. Alright, video, just let me know when you're ready to tilt up.
I'm ready.
Alright,
Okay, coming up.
try to just tilt slowly up. Let's go on the, we'll go to the next one. Can you do lasers off, co-pilot?
Sure.
Let's pause on the disc of this guy. Okay, you
So-
can go full in when you're ready, video.
This particular colony, it looks like the polyps are generally oriented closing upwards.
Tilting my camera down.
Okay.
60 degrees.
Alright, will you tilt D2 down once you're comfortable? I'm really multitasking you here.
It's okay. Tilting down.
So here's a brittle star right now. It looks probably about as spiny as the first one we
Yeah.
saw on this colony, or this type of colony. We're looking at the central disc in addition to the spine orientations because they are probably the most descriptive factors for identifying
Do
brittle
you have any more
stars.
zoom video?
That is full zoom, pilot.
Copy.
So I think polyps facing upwards in whorls of, I've seen mostly 3 polyps per whorl on the octocoral.
Okay, let's keep tilting up and get some polyps with the dark background.
Copy that. Tilting up.
Move complete. Thanks, Bridge. So move complete, pilots.
Alright.
In order to make the top, we should keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get our imagery here of the polyps, and then we'll move on.
Quite tall.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. There we are.
Can I get that as a screensaver?
Then loop it so they never end.
I think there was a screensaver for this stuff a couple years ago, right?
That was coral.
Yeah. Or for our images.
All right. So as far as I can see, the polyps are generally oriented upwards through the entire colony. The closed polyps I have seen are
Video, let's
folding
go out to the whole
upwards,
specimen.
up axis.
And then before we go, we'll get one more laser shot.
Okay. I'll tilt down.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Very nice
I'm just
background,
gonna
though.
Or,
Stop for the
we'll do
media
that
right
level
here.
of zoom. Yep.
Yeah. And then coming out now.
We hold that for a second. I'll tilt down a little bit.
So dark.
That's awesome.
Behind
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it looks like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, chirostylid also. Yeah.
Is this going to be in the highlights, Caitlin?
Maybe. This is gonna come in just like that. More black background.
Nice.
That's pretty.
All right.
Okay. Let control back to
Okay.
you.
Yes, please.
Coming out.
Okay. Can we get lasers on?
That's full wide pilot.
Okay, we have lasers on the middle there. Tilt down. There's the whole specimen. Alright, whenever you're clear, video.
Okay, we're clear.
Excellent.
I'm full wide though.
Yeah. I'll back up. I just meant I wouldn't move until you
Oh.
had your shot.
Gotcha.
Alright, so your camera's at 63.
Yes.
Alright, we could probably do the next move.
Understood. 310 look good?
Yeah.
Alright. Bridge, this is ROV now.
Tilting up.
Yeah, I'd like a move, same as last. Range 50 meters, bearing 310 degrees, speed decimal 2.
It's 40 degrees on my camera.
Good copy. Thanks, Bridge.
Nav, what average do you have to keep now?
Can I leave this skin on
Looks
right
like
pilot?
you
Oh,
are
yes.
255 meters away, and we have 97 minutes. 0.085. You guys made some ground.
Good. Still, actually, that's about when I started at noon. That's what we had, right? So, just barely keeping it. Alright, so we have a ship move in. I'll pause here. Nothing on sonar.
Again, you could see quite a few of these irregular sea urchins. Lionopneustes. They look like those are the ones that kind of look like eggs, flattened eggs. You can see their track lines. It looks like maybe there's a couple sea urchins. In the view. So a lot of these are bottom feeders. They're most
Could you
likely
have quick zoom on this
scavenging
white
for
object?
any detritus
Zoom again.
or animals. if they're carnivorous.
Still don't know what it is.
Not sure.
That looks like a bivalve, the shiny shell. Brittle stars below it.
All right, a
Okay.
bivalve. You can go wide.
Okay, coming wide. Yeah, that's full wide pilot.
All right, you can lose the skids.
Losing skids. There we go.
So we're still at a depth of 544 meters. Right now, salinity is at 35.6, temperature 12.6 degrees Celsius, and oxygen 2.8. That might be something interesting in front of us.
Yeah, what do we got there? Looks like another peninsula from a distance. Type of sea pen.
Pilot. Co-pilot. So in the middle of a 50-meter move.
Yeah, it looks like one of those sea pens.
The
Yeah, it
terrain
looks
should
exactly the same as the
steepen
one
a
we
little,
collected.
but not a lot up here.
Copy.
Can we snap zoom just to document this and then move on?
Yeah, video. Could you do a zoom
Okay.
to the specimen?
Snapping in.
Here we go. Yeah. So this is now the opposite side that we
just,
were looking
fly
at
up
from the
here.
colony that we collected. More or less looks like the same species that we have in our bio box, but this is the side facing the polyps rather than away.
Okay, you can go wide.
Sí, es un pluma de mar, es un octocoral
That's full
o
wide.
un coral blando.
And losing skids.
So nav and co-pilot, I think last we checked we had to keep a pace of 0.09 knots.
That is correct.
And we were doing 0.2 knot moves, so we're going to have to be moving at least half the time.
Copy that.
How's the surface current right now as far as recovery time? Oh, pretty
There's a
Pretty
fish
low.
on the left.
Pretty low.
great. Fish on the left. In the sediment there?
Yes. It looked like it was moving.
Something.
It's another bottle.
It's very
With the
sugary
fish in
though.
it
Is that a
now.
bottle?
Looks, yeah, it looks like a bottle and maybe some
Fish in
fish.
front of it.
Yeah.
Do you want to zoom in video?
Coming in.
Oh, it's inside the bottle.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Huh.
Looks like some bass or some type. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It has barbels. I just saw that.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's a great little habitat there, but, not ideal for the seafloor.
You got lasers off, co-pilot?
Yeah, laser's coming off.
Yep.
I don't know if the button is working.
So we have
there
been
you go.
documenting
Got it.
quite a bit of
Yeah.
debris in this
That's
area,
wrong.
mostly soda cans,
You can do whatever
bottles,
shot
jugs,
you'd like video for zoom.
a lot of
I'm sorry,
debris.
pilot, can
I
you-
would say
you can zoom
more
in if
than
you'd
average.
like, or keep
Yeah.
the whole bottle.
Okay.
And some
Kind
old
of interesting
cables.
either way.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it for now, but
Okay.
probably zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, that right. You
He
know,
keeps going back and
wouldn't
forth.
you think
Yeah,
so?
that's true.
That would be an easy way to sample a fish, right?
Collect it in the bottle.
Yeah. I don't know if that'll work too well, but man, if it was a super important species that we couldn't get a good ID on, that would be one way to do it. But no, I don't think we're going to sample. We're not going to sample the fish. That was a joke.
Can I
But
zoom
it
in a
is
little
an
bit,
interesting
Pilot?
use of
Yes.
Get him in the neck of the
habitat
bottle.
for as much as it is.
Pilot, I'm looking at you.
It looks
at
like there's a
80
brittle
degrees.
star also
Okay.
sharing that
Yeah,
habitat,
after this shot, I'll take off.
and something moving inside.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a hermit crab or gastropod. Okay, thanks pilots.
You're welcome.
We're satisfied here.
Video whenever you have what
Okay.
you'd like.
Zooming out.
All right. Okay,
And there's another
310.
bottle right next to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the sediment getting a little steeper here. It shows up in Sirius sonar too.
It looks like we are climbing now. Looks like it's getting steeper.
Nav, is the ship move still going, or?
Yes, it appears to be.
Okay, great. We'll push out then.
See some stalked crinoids, some that we were documenting in abundance yesterday. I'll have to find the name for those. I used to know
a
it.
couple more meters, I believe.
The stalked crinoids that are able to move on the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, my camera's at 45 degrees.
Very good. Quick zoom here, video.
Coming in. Good eye, Pilot.
Urchin.
Oh, urchin.
Have we seen this one yet?
I think we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one with the fouling on the spines.
It
Okay.
looks like it's right next to a glass sponge.
Yeah, everything
Okay.
here is,
Go
like
wide
we were
video.
seeing
Okay,
yesterday,
go
everything
wide.
is super small now.
Yeah.
Full
I
wide.
think this this substrate, since it's a little bit more sloped, is perhaps a little bit more consolidated. I don't see a lot of loose substrate.
Do you think there's a lot of turnover from organisms? Like they are there for a short amount of period of time, and since it is such a slope and
Possibly.
mostly with
yeah.
currents?
Possibly. Yeah. I'm
All right. Should we? So the ship stopped a minute ago.
I think for attached
should be
organisms,
finishing
I think
soon,
it might
so
just
that
be
will
a
soon.
limitation of
It has
the
not stopped yet.
hard bottom resource. You know, it's not firm rock.
I'm just
It's
excited to get to the
potentially
top.
could.
Are we happy with the
Shift.
current heading that we're on? We're at 310. Copilot's happy with that.
Yeah.
Good.
I guess
Unless we need to
the
cut it.
the returns are a little harder to your starboard, but is that the? Yeah. Yeah. This is good. It's not that steep. So.
Copy that. When the next move's completed, I'll call in another 15 meters. It seems that you guys have been moving at. So if you're comfortable with that, I'll
Yeah.
continue at that range.
Copy that.
I don't think we got a good idea on that fish in the bottle, so I'm just going to call it fish in
The bottle.
We'll,
It's a new
Sen-
song. Maybe let's call up Sting.
fish in the bottle.
Looks like another sea urchin.
Yeah, I think that's been over for a bit now.
Bridge, this is ROV nav. It looks like that last move was completed. Do you mind if we do another one? Copy that. It will be exactly the same, 50 meters at 310 degrees. Speed decimal 2 knots, please. Good copy, thank you.
So thanks to our shoreside science team as well. We've had a lot of participation today on the call and through the chat room. A lot of people to mention by name, but as we go through, I'll try to recognize every one of them. On this particular expedition, we had approximately 211, I think the count, and growing, scientists and interested parties helping us plan our dives and actively participate in the exploration of this area. We're taking into account a lot of resources from local environmental and habitat managers, conservation directors, as well as scientists from around the world. In the lower left of the corner, there seems to be something with branches.
I see that.
It looks very blended into the bottom here. And just for the record, after that, to the left, there's this sea star.
Okay.
We can get a quick snap zoom on.
Okay, there it is with lasers. Copilot, will you kill lasers?
Coming off.
And video, you're free to zoom.
Okay, coming in.
Looks like maybe a stock crinoid.
Yeah. Yeah, it does
Yep,
look like
that's
one of the
partial.
stocked ones. That's right.
It's good.
Smaller than the other ones I've seen so far.
Okay, you're free to zoom in whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, coming in.
It's worth once in a while zooming in
Closing.
on these crinoids, even though sometimes they're hyper abundant, because there are interesting parasites that live in the grooves of the arm. This one doesn't seem to have any parasites that I can see right now.
It looks like some type of crustacean on the right below it,
Oh, yeah.
Tilting down.
right there.
Yep.
Okay, before Sirius catches up, let's take a look at the sea star. So if you come
Coming
out,
out.
Copilot, can we get lasers on?
You got it.
I think the sea star, it looks familiar to me.
There it is with lasers.
Perhaps not to the species level, but I
off.
think it might be.
Alright, you can go in video.
Okay, zooming in.
Oh, no, my guess. I'm not gonna bother. I take it back immediately. I don't recognize this one immediately.
Coming in more.
This is,
Okay.
I guess, the
Yep, you're
first
free to zoom
I-
as you'd like.
first we've seen this on the expedition.
Closing.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's preying on something below. There's a small rock Could be feeding, could be just moving. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere in a hurry.
Again, you could see right underneath the arms there are tube feet, which allows it to move around and to capture its prey.
All right, pilots, thanks. I think
You're
we're
welcome.
satisfied when video has a good shot.
Okay, coming out. That's full white pilot.
Yeah, Nav, if you look at the manip cams, you can see they're both in, actually. When I let off, you can see the shadow getting farther away. This is very nice sediment. It doesn't stir up in clouds.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see any real indents or any clouds. So
Yeah.
I think this was for the fish. No?
Quick zoom
Oh.
here video.
Okay, quick zoom.
Like a sponge.
Hey, this is Chris Ma.
Hello, Chris Ma.
Okay.
Hey, so
I'll
that
just
sea
pan up
star
past
that you
this.
were looking at, if I counted the number of papular rows correctly, that looks like an Ophidiasterid in the genus Tamaria, probably Tamaria
That's
halperni,
full wide.
which is named for Gerald Halpern, who was a student at the Rosenstiel Marine Science School that described many species of goniasterid sea stars. Ophidiasterids are kind of similar to the things that you might see in a shallow water habitat, like Lynchia or Ophidiaster, sort of like those ones that can regenerate really quickly, It's not unusual to see them at shallow deep sea depths, but they're typically not deep sea animals as such. I don't know if you would notice that it was feeding on something. It might have been munching on some of the sponge or epizoic animals that were on the bottom, and the shallow water ones, I think, tend to feed on similar types of things, microfilms and whatnot. So, but definitely the first one for this trip.
The water seems to be getting more
Thanks
murky
very
as
much.
we come up.
Thanks for stopping. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Nav, this is watch lead.
go ahead.
Could you give us an estimate of time on bottom?
Sure, give me 1 second. Looks like we have about an hour and 15 minutes left.
Hour 15. Okay. So to everyone on shore side, there's about 1 hour 15 minutes left on bottom, and we're now on the mound that we had planned in our dive plan. This large topographic high point
All right,
at the top
so
of
what will the next move be? Are we still 310?
a rather dramatic cliff
Still
south of St. Thomas, east
still
of Vieques Island.
Yeah.
So this area was suggested to us because of the potential presence of aggregating deep water fishes like
Okay.
snappers and groupers.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and call it in.
Yeah.
Another 50 meters.
Y buenas tardes a todos.
Yeah.
Están
I
mirando,
guess we're hoping there's
escuchando,
rocks on the top. Right now there aren't.
especialmente en
Right,
el
this is
Eco
ROV now.
Exploratorio en San Juan.
We'd
Saludos.
like to go on another move if you're ready.
Y ahora estamos sur de St. Thomas
Excellent.
y
It will be
noreste
exactly the
de
same,
la
another
isla
50
Vieques.
meters at
Y ahora
310
está
degrees,
subiendo
speed decimal 2.
y estamos en profundidad de 510
Good copy, thank you.
15 metros. Y vamos a buscar hábitos, las comunidades de los peces en aguas profundas, como cartucho y de meros.
I'll try for this midwater video.
Is that
Okay, going for midwater.
a Tina
Like
for
a Tina
I
for,
might
yeah.
have lost it, but
I see him.
yeah.
At the
drifting
bottom.
really quickly?
If he goes up, we can get him. But
Can't really see the combs.
sorry.
You're okay.
Can I get lasers off, Copilot?
Yeah, lasers coming off.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a Tina for, or it looks like a jelly actually, a Medusa that I've really seen before. No, I think it's a Tina for. I see some iridescence now. Although that could be just the refraction of the light from the vehicles. Yeah, so we're getting some indications from our shoreside
Yeah,
scientists
let 'em
that
go.
it's
Yeah.
probably a Medusa. So this is a good segue into talking about our midwater section of the dive, and not on this particular dive, but towards the end of our expedition, we'll be doing some dedicated midwater surveys in which we'll go down and explore the bottom, and on our way back up, we'll do a series of 100-meter or so transects, or 10-minute transects rather. 10-minute transects at depths intervals of 100 meters, from about 1,200 meters to close to 700 or 800 meters, examining all the midwater fauna we find, such as these medusae and midwater fishes. There's actually a great diversity of life that occurs in the midwater, and they're sometimes can be highly migratory, often making hundreds of meters vertical migrations into the shallow water at night to feed, and then hiding back down deep during the daytime to avoid predation.
Some say it's the largest migration
Okay,
of
sonars are still
any
clear.
type of animal.
Yep.
Thank you, Copilot.
Yeah, especially because most of these animals are at most sometimes centimeters, millimeters to centimeters. So I'm seeing on the seafloor still some of these sponges, many sideroid urchins. They seem to be dominant right in this particular area. as well as crinoids. There's a few of them in the frame right now.
Coming back to center, co-pilot.
Right now we're passing about 500 meters depth. The final end depth for this particular dive is around 460 meters, 465 meters. Can we take a look at the shiny fish?
Certainly. Get a little closer.
Looks like a smaller mid-water fish.
Okay, video. Let's zoom from here.
Okay,
And
that'd be
I'll
good.
try to creep in.
Is that
That's something new or something hanging from
Say
its
again, co-pilot?
mouth?
If your lasers off, it's kind of falling in between the dots. So it's
Oh,
not really
yeah,
measurable.
you can take them.
is that one of the Neoscopulus? The blue iridescent fishes? Although I can't quite figure out what's going on with that.
Up.
Oh,
Oh,
That was
there you go.
eating.
it doesn't look like a parasite then if it falls apart like that. Nope.
Oh.
No, I think that's something different.
Okay, I'll back up a little. Is that
Okay.
with the light?
That looks like something we haven't seen so far, but this is some great imagery of it.
Okay. Oh, will you put the spotlights on?
Yeah. Spotlight's coming on.
Oh, whoa. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh, we should have asked you video.
That's okay. You're good. Oh.
And he's
Oh.
gone.
Oh.
All right,
So,
coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, coming out, Violet.
Yeah, video in the future will.
Sorry. Oh no, yeah. I just wasn't like expecting it to be that bright.
Yeah, but we also, if you were trying to get a nice shot, we don't want to ruin it.
That's okay.
still seeing some sponges, crinoids. Nothing very large here.
Okay, it should be
The
flattening out
sediment, the substrate seems to be
again. Nothing in sonars.
fairly well consolidated. I don't see a lot of slumping of sediments, and there are some, but there's infrequent or fewer burrows, bioturbation, although there are a few mounds which are likely resulting from infauna or fishes that burrow, or crabs or mollusks that might be burrowing in the sediment.
How's that move progressing now?
Looks like it's just about ready to wrap up.
Nice.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you. Pilots, do you feel like another 50 meters?
Some
My camera's
debris,
45
perhaps.
degrees, so I think
Yeah.
we're in good shape.
Pretty
Right.
far ahead. We should do it.
we'll do another one, same heading, and once we get a little closer to the top, we'll figure out where the slope's coming from. We'll be able to change from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Bridge, this is ROV nav.
There's
Looking for
something
another
walking on
move,
the
exactly
seafloor.
the same,
Pilot,
50 meters
in the
at
distance.
310 degrees,
It's
speed
kind of white,
decimal 2.
and it's walking.
Walking.
Like,
Oh,
to the
I see it.
right.
Yeah.
Good copy,
Yeah.
Bridge, thank you.
Let's go take a look.
Pilot, do you see any relief coming up that might be of interest to check out in the sonars?
No, if you look at the left-hand sonar, which is mine, it goes out to 50 meters, and it's all kind of flat.
There's something crawling on the seafloor, straight ahead. Pilot, would you mind snapshotting that?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like some crab.
Co-pilot, will you take the lasers off? Okay, video, free
Okay.
to zoom.
Coming in.
Ah, just a hermit crab.
Oh, I scared him.
Fairly photogenic one.
Okay, coming to port.
Very pale hermit crab. With the exception of the eyes, it's completely white and discolored.
Is that a worm behind it to the left? Moving around.
Oh yeah, something. Yeah, something right here.
Is that max zoom video?
There was something
I
right
still
here
have
that was
more.
moving around.
Yeah, I'll come to port a bit.
Just
We can
behind
go
the
in
worm.
on his
Okay.
face.
Just behind the crab.
Okay.
Okay, coming in.
Yeah.
That's max zoom.
Okay.
I think, are we
Yeah, I think
good
we're
here?
good. Thank you.
All right. Happy video?
5 seconds.
Sure. No rush. Just got stable.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, pilot. Okay. That's full wide.
Excellent. All right, the ship is underway. Both sonars are clear.
We should make the top of this mound with some time to spare, so hopefully we'll see some deep sea fishes that we've been waiting for. Some of the snappers and groupers that we've been waiting for all dive might come into view.
So right now we are reaching kind of the lower limits of where we would possibly find queen snapper. We're about 499 meters. Some of the fishermen have recorded them all the way down to 450 meters, but still there's some question of how deep they actually can go or live.
So queen snappers, do you usually find them shallower, or can they, or are they?
So they think they also have an ontogenetic migration, something similar to that of the silk snappers, where some of the juveniles are the younger fish are closer to the shore, maybe at the shelf edge, and then when they get bigger, they move to these deep water habitats. But to my understanding, that's still up in the air with the queen snapper. It's known for the silk snappers. But you could find these snappers actually all the way up as far north as Bermuda and North Carolina, and to as far south as Brazil. So they have a wide geographical range of distribution.
Are those crinoids on the right side?
Yeah.
No. I can't tell. There's at least a couple of them.
Yeah, they kind of look like stock crinoids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's another one.
Yeah, that's right.
Behind. Looks like a different species, possibly.
Can we zoom on the snap zoom on the crinoid that's to the right of the lasers?
Yep, copy that. All right, video, let's go for snap.
Okay, snapping in.
Then Copilot, get lasers as you want.
Alright,
Looks like
lasers
this.
coming off.
Oh, there's a small cup coral to the right of it.
Right. So I think it looks very similar to the last one we saw.
Yeah, it's not as poofy as
My
the last
camera's
one,
at
though.
80 degrees.
I know this.
Copy that.
These kinds of stock crinoids can get much larger, but they all seem to be about the same size. Could potentially indicate some sort of recent recruitment event, or if not recent, then a recruitment event that gave rise to these
I have more to say
crinoids
about
at similar
Sure,
sizes.
take it real quick.
Okay.
And then science, is that all you need from this?
I think that looks great. Thanks.
Copy that. All right, video whenever you're happy.
Okay, coming in. I mean, coming out.
Copy.
There we go, that's full wide.
Great, thank you.
Looks like we have another 10 meters in that move. We're still happy. We'll continue at another 50 right after. Roll into it.
Yeah, we'll let D2 get out ahead.
Copy that. I'll let you know when that move's done.
Copy.
Crinoids everywhere.
They like this habitat.
I see something on the right-hand side, though, that might look a little different. Just went out of frame. Or is that on another crinoid?
Right here?
In
It looks like it.
in the upper right corner?
Further up.
Yeah, upper right corner, it looks more bushy.
Copy.
Yeah, I think that's also a crinoid, but
Snap zoom video.
a
Okay,
different
zooming in.
different and non-stalked species.
Yep. You could see it's cirri.
Nope. Possibly some arm regrowth there. Tips of the appendages seem lighter in color.
Is that all you need, science?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Copy.
Okay, coming back out, pilot.
Great, thank you.
There we go, that's full wide.
Was that a coral or a sponge?
I think that might be a coral.
Okay. Take a look at it. I think it was a
Great copy, Bridge. Thank you.
Chrysogorgia.
That move has just been
Okay.
completed. We'll let D2
In
push
which
out
case-
a little bit, and then I'll call in another 50.
We saw
after 10.
thing we just passed?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
The
What's
yellowish
our range now?
thing that we zoomed in on.
Until waypoint 3.
I think that-
Sorry if you zoomed in. I might be doing the same thing as yesterday and trying to see this
We're looking
small
at about
yellow black coral that
316,
looks like a
317.
crinoid.
Yeah.
but seeing
Excuse
crinoid
me.